Good evening. This is Constance Vawter, and this is the Spiritual Mysteries of Life. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. I wasn't here in July because 4th of July, and I was out watching the fireworks at Clearwater Beach, and it was just absolutely wonderful. I wasn't at the beach; I was at a park at Clearwater. But anyway, they were just magnificent, and so anyway, that's why I wasn't on. And my grandson was here, and so he said, "Grandma, we're taking you to see the fireworks." So anyway, here we are, and blessings be to all of you. It's been a wonderful, wonderful time for us here, and wonderful things are happening. And tonight, we're going to talk about some of our world conditions that we are in and the call of action to the light bearers. It's time for everyone who believes and is looking and wanting to change this world and change it to the light. It's your call, it's your duty. If you hear me and you hear my words, know that it's time. We have it's here. We've been in it since 2012, getting ready for this. And the young folks who are coming in will demand it. The old souls will deal with it. But let me tell you, what's happening is that the children don't know really how to handle the old souls. And they don't really know how, they want to change it, but they've got to learn to do it constructively and not in a negative state. And so with that, we'll be watching and hoping that everything comes out all right. And we must be able to, first and foremost, love ourselves. Because if you can't love yourself 100%, maybe 110%, 200%, whatever percent, it resonates with you. In order for you to love somebody else, you have to love yourself in totality, who you are and what you are. It takes a lot of patience and a lot of understanding because we live in such a turbulent environment. We experience, and you must take the time to look at the long range view of the plan, because God does have a plan. We're in the plan. We're watching and waiting. We're working, doing our diligence to do exactly what he says and knows that he is going in control. And when you stop and think about the word God, if that doesn't resonate with you, you may use creator, you may use source, you may use what resonates with you. When we think of our physical or our materiality, the sensuality and the carnality, that's what we are enthroned with in man's mind. That has been driven in us. And now we're going to change that. Every person should enthrone their heart with unconditional love. Love. Unconditional love. That's a hard one. Because everybody has a different connotation of the word love. But when God has love, or your source has love, it's unconditional. And isn't that a wonderful thing? And to know there's no judgment. He loves us just the way we are. He doesn't care one iota. If you don't think you're perfect, you are to him. So you must think you are perfect. You have to think you're perfect because he loves you and want you to know that in your heart and mind are unconditional love. When we think of how things have been in what's going on in the world, don't get caught up in it. Send love to it. The only thing that really reaps the harvest is love. Only love and the brotherhood. Master of yourself is the first requirement of being an effective instrument for peace and harmony. Mastery of yourself is one of the most important things you can do for yourself. And how you take and how you place it, it's like you're the instrument. You're the instrument of peace and harmony and love. Rest in that knowledge. If you think of things and you worry about things, we're going to get into that in a little bit. But I want you to think about something. I want you to rest in the knowledge that you are indestructible. For why? You are a spirit in a physical body. Your spirit is eternal, forever. That's pretty hard to digest a little bit, but it's the truth. The physical part of you is the material realm. And that's where all the action is. And if you identify that you will suffer or be, that's a material downfall. But if you identify as a spirit, you will know that you are indestructible. And the material life will have no hold on you. Your every need will be met. Look and think about some of the things that are going on in your life. And if there's a lot of chaos, could be a reason for that. See, God wants to pull us in, and He may have to get our attention. And sometimes that can be painful. And if we've agreed to, before you came into this world, you all agreed to do certain things. And if you're not doing those things, then chaos comes in. And that chaos, you have to think about that. And how are you handling it? Because that chaos will either pull you into Him, your source, or it'll drive you away. Think about that. That's pretty serious stuff. When Spirit talks to me, and they do it every night, there's a possibility here that they may take me as I'm talking. Because I'm channeling, there's going to be it could just happen, and I'll be going, and then they'll be coming in. No, there won't be any announcement that who I am and all that kind of stuff. They just know that I am. And so with that, but I want you to know that everything that we do, everything that we think, and how we speak words, and how we implement things, how we think of people resonates and creates either a positive or a negative. And as we're setting the scene, so to speak, we will be asked, we will be accounted for. And for you, for some of you who have the ability or know of someone who has the ability to go into your Akashic records and check and see what's going on. If you choose to do that, that's a big responsibility. It is. You can learn from your past and see what you're going to be or should be learning in this lifetime or your purpose. Those things are all brought out. You may end up finding, oh, I didn't realize that I'm learning a lesson that I had learned before. So I have to learn it this time. Maybe you've met somebody that you didn't think, oh, how can this be? And you just feel comfortable with them. But gee whiz, could be somebody special because God takes the time. He makes the plan. Your source makes the plan. And let me tell you, he's good. He makes it all right. When I thought I was at the end of my road, he woke me up and said, oh no, girl, I got a whole new world for you. Something you walked away from 35 years ago. So here I am doing the work that I should have been doing my whole life. But now I'm doing it now. And isn't that cool? It is, let me tell you. And the processing of what I have had to go through and learn and accept and know that I'm an instrument for his creation, for his humanity, for you, to teach you, to give you information, to help you think the process through, for you to know who you are, and for you to love yourself and know that everything is in divine order. Even if it's chaos, it's in divine order. We have so many things that we just, you think, how can this be? It is. You just have to be. You just have to sit back and be. And one of the things that I experienced, and you will too, is a whole, I don't know how to even explain it in human words, but it's an innate ability to be within yourself and know that you are God because he created us and said, you are mine. I am that I am. And I thought, how can I think like that? But I graduated. And so here I am. And you can use that word. And how many times do you do things and you'll say, you'll start a statement, I am. And what are you? You are light. You are the light of the world. If you choose to be. You can change the world if you choose. With your own thought process, you can change everything that is around you. You can make things happen. And maybe sometimes the aspect of what you're going through could be pretty gut wrenching, if you excuse me for using it that hard. But sometimes people go through some pretty hard times and have some rough go around. But they turn. What did they do? They turn to God, their source, and that's what He wants. He doesn't care. I know you were in the chaos. I threw you in there. Why? Because I love you. I want you to want me. I want you to want me more than that. Whatever the chaos is, I want you to love me more. And so we have to come to those realizations and know that God, or your source, is absolute. He's there. He's watching. He's controlling the universes. There's more worlds than ours. There's more universes than this. We just have to be open to that. And it's been proven that we have other beings that are coming in and going out. But people, they don't want to hear that. Mm-mm. That's because we've gone from the third, fourth, we're in the fifth dimension. And if you can't quite grab that one, I'll tell you what I used to say all the time. If you can't grab it, just put it on the shelf. And one of these days, you'll be snapping it up and saying, I'm ready for this. I'm tired. I'm tired of living like this. I want things different. I want things whole. And I want to know who I am and where I'm going. And it can be yours. All you have to do is ask. And the realms that we have that are out there, that are working with us, the angelic realm, is so wonderful. And the ability that they have to communicate with us. And it's, there isn't anything like it. And it's exciting. And it's all about love. When our mother, Holy Mother, walked this earth, what she has done for humanity, what she chose to do when she came in, and when she walks with us, and she does, it's just wonderful. Oh, I get goosebumps. And and it's such a grace that you feel. And when people have these experiences, why would you not want to have these experiences every day? Why do you want to wallow around in the stuff that doesn't mean anything? It doesn't give you any joy in your heart. It just makes you feel like you're less. And you should never feel less. You should always feel that you're the best, because He wants you to be the best. And if you are having a difficult time, what do? You say, I surrender. Surrender. Give it up. How many times have I heard that? When people would say, and I didn't understand. I would hear them say that. What are they talking about? Give it up. Well, now I understand what that means. So those are things that you can do. They're disciplines, but you can do it. There isn't anything you can't do. And you just keep doing what you do. And every time something negative happens, bless it. Send love to it. Heal it. And when somebody has crossed you or done you wrong, and in your mind, send love to it, heal it, and let everything go. Because He's looking and wanting you to want Him. Excuse me a second. I gotta wipe my nose. Now, one of the things that we have to think about, and that is, think of yourself, if you can think of it as a magnet and a vibration. And you think, okay, do you pull it in, and if it's good, then you feel good. But if you pull something in and all of a sudden it just doesn't feel just good, might have felt good once, and maybe it was a material thing or a carnal thing or a sensual or whatever. And then you realize, gee, I don't want that. I don't want that feel. This, I want the godly feeling. I want to be able to feel that essence of knowing. When you have spirit, everybody has spirit guides. And so, when you have a spirit guide that comes in and maybe you feel a little tingly sensitivity, or maybe a little pull on your hair, or a little whisper in your ear, those are so cool. And you can just get right in there and hang real tight, because that's what it's about. And when you know you're inside, you're saying, oh my, guess what? I can see what people are saying. I've never been able to do that before. And Barbie is saying, hello, Constance, and Pat McDonald. Good morning. Oh, good evening. I've never been able to see those before. I love it. Oh, love the new background. Oh, okay. Hi. Oh, wow. Well, anyway, that's really sweet. And Tanya, oh my goodness, everything is coming up. Well, that's wonderful that you're here. And as we progress, as we move forward, and what I do, and I'm doing it now more than ever, is channeling. And it's a new way of communication, and anybody can do it. It's really cool, and it's wonderful. And life is so good. And when you want your life to be good, you need to pick the right words. So there's the law of attraction, a law of affirmations. There's all kinds of things that you can read about and study about, and you say, wow, I need to do that. Oh, Margaret's here. Hello, Margaret. That's my sister-in-law. Sister. We're sisters. And one of the things that so many of us are seeking is that when we have things that we really enjoy, and whether it's baking, the cooking element, I don't do well these days with cooking. I have to admit that. But I used to cook pretty good, but not so much anymore. But it's okay, because I'm doing other things. And so, if I don't make it in the kitchen, I'm doing spiritual things, and that's okay too. But you know what? It's really cool when you can go out and touch nature, and you can put your feet in the dirt. Now, down here we have sand, lots of sand, and I love to go to the beach, and I love to put my feet in the sand and just wiggle my toes and just get in it. And I love to stick my feet in the water and to feel that rush. When the water comes in and whoo, pulls it out, it feels just like it's pulling the energy right out of your body. And if it's negative, let it go. Who cares? Right? Right. It's just too cool. And it doesn't matter if you love to sing, 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 sing. And if you love to play the piano or an instrument, a guitar, whatever, a flute, anyway, I don't care what it is. If you enjoy doing those things, then you should do those things. Because why? It's part of God. He puts all of these things out for us. And so here we are. And so as you're resting in the knowledge of who you are, and remember who you are, and I'll say it again, a spirit in a physical body. I've had people say to me, Connie, I don't feel like it. I just can't get it. And I said, what do you mean? Well, I don't think I come from this place. And I said, what do you mean you don't think you came from this place? I think I came from another planet. I said, well, maybe you did. You believe that? I'm like, yeah, I do. Because I did too. It doesn't always make you feel like you came here. You say, oh, well, how do you find that out? Through a lot of study, a lot of studies. But, sometimes if you go, what I like to do too is when I get the opportunity, and that isn't too often, but if I were to get the opportunity to go to the woods where there's trees and hug them, just hug them. They need that. You need it. Can you imagine what it'd be like to hug a tree? I go out front and I have a little gardenia tree. And when I pull the weeds, I grab a hold of the tree itself and I hang on. And I just say, I love you because you bloom so beautifully. And I get all these beautiful. And then there's so many you can't, there's just tons of them. And so that's the only tree I think I have. Come to think about it. But anyway, that's all right. Lots of people have different types. And down here, a lot of people have palm trees. And they're not too, conducive to, I think they're kind of pricky. But, you could hug it if you wanted to. Why not? And so just know that when things get difficult and things are displaced, you didn't do anything wrong. I'm going to get a little emotional here, and I'm sorry. I want everyone, from my heart, I want you all to be happy. As happy as I am. I am so full of joy in my heart and in my soul. And I sometimes I think, Kelly, I got to pinch myself. Because why is everything so almost perfect? But then I had a little accident. A year ago, I broke my wrist. This year, I scraped my arm and really, this is what it looks like. It's all bandaged up. And it's about going on 3 weeks old. And but you know what? That just tells me I need to slow down because I was running too fast, thinking too fast, moving too fast, and not thinking about what I needed to be thinking about. So being maybe overly tired. Sometimes I get tired, but then I just get back in the swing and get it going. I love my job. And all know I'm an accountant, have been my whole life. So numbers and I get along quite well. And so that's kind of fun too. But one of the things you must think about is mastering yourself. That's really important. And knowing who you are. And setting an example for others to see. And wanting to be like you. And having the feeling of, isn't it wonderful to be in a state of mind of being in harmony and love? Those are such wonderful things. And I don't want to overstate it, because if you're going through a difficult time, I've been there. And it's not easy. A lot of tears, A lot of heartache. It's like somebody stabbing you in your heart, turning it. Been there. And but you know what? It's okay, because the source, your God, will be there to love you. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. But when we're kind to other folks, and that's what we want. We want people to be kind to each other. I don't even watch the news anymore. I can't. It's too disturbing. If I watch the weather, and sometimes I don't like to do that either. But, here we have hurricanes. So, and tonight they forecasted some big thunderstorms, but I don't think they're rolling in yet. But if they do, you'll hear them. Yeah, it could roll in anytime. But it's okay. I don't worry about that stuff. I've really come to a point in time when I don't worry anymore. And I don't know if it's because I'm a senior. And you just say, well, let's get it on. Let's have some fun. This is it. This is the last rodeo. So, and I'm sorry for that. I don't know if somebody's checking in with me. I need to check that. But anyway, it's a process. And it's one of the things that I'm going to be, I think they're getting ready to take me for a minute or two. So I'm going to go into trance. So I have to get myself ready. So give me a few minutes, okay? It's not minutes, but a few seconds anyway. All right. Good evening. It is an honor to be here this evening. We come with love and benevolence. We come to share. We are here for the utmost of humanity. We want all of humanity to grow in the light and the love. Each person who reaches inside and decides that they will make the change and do the things that are necessary will find themselves in a different state of bliss. They'll find themselves looking and searching and saying, how can I do it? How can I be better? How can I do this? How can I do that? In the spirit world, they'll change. When you go from the third, from the fourth into the fifth, your whole concept changes. Your every essence changes. And when you can place yourself and allow yourself to be in the oneness, to be here and say, what can I do as a light bearer? What can I do to change the world? How can I help humanity? How can I reach? We will be in this fifth dimension a long time. So if you're an old soul, just think you're going to get to come back in when things are wonderful, because we're not going to have wars. These things are going to go away. And with that process, it takes years and years, but we will be successful. And each time you come back in, and each time you live and you walk the walk and you come in, do you realize it took Jesus 2,000 years to get people? It's taken us 2,000 years to be able to love, and we still aren't there. But he set the pace. And our Holy Mother, Mary, also, and Joseph, her husband, they all played an intricate role in how we worked this world for the last, and the Buddha, the Dalai Lama, how many have changed the world all over the world. Now, with all of that going on, isn't it? We're just hitting the tip of the iceberg. But just think that one day we'll be like the ancients of days, like the Egyptians and the Atlanteans. They could speak without speaking because they spoke with the third eye. And they sent that out. They would say, I mean, everybody was pretty much, nobody was doing anything bad because everybody knew what everybody was thinking. How about that? So with that process of what we are and how we are to proceed, when we come in and share this information with you, it is to enlighten humanity. It is to enlighten every soul. It is to bring them to the oneness of themselves and their knowing that I am, that I am. We are here. We are moving. We are placing things in place. The whole angelic realm, all of the mystics, all of the masters, everybody on the other side of the veil. And the veil is so thin right now. It is so thin. People are hearing, people are feeling, and they're seeing things that they never did before. And we're all part of that. We are here to work and give all that we can. We have been directed to be able to do the things that are coming. When we set forth and we bring forth the healings that are going to be necessary, the souls that are in the third that can't get it, will be one of the things that so many people will be working and trying to bring those souls out and bring them into the fifth, to bring them into the oneness, to bring them to the knowledge so that they understand that it is God in his wholeness. When Jesus said, all these things that I do, you can do them also. So when people say, oh, well, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't. Oh, yes, you can. You can do anything if you put your heart and your mind together and investigate the pineal glands. Think about your body. It is one of the most, in the physical world, you think about that body and what a fantastic machine it is and how unique. It doesn't have to think about breathing. The heart just keeps right on pumping. You guys are right there. You've got it all. And if you're sick, you're the boss. You can tell your body, I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to beat whatever they tell me I got. You can do that. If you believe it, but you got to believe it. And with that, I send you blessings from the angelic realm, and God bless you, your source, and all that is necessary to keep you in your oneness. And blessings be. Okay. Now that's pretty heavy duty material. But if you, like I say, if you can't digest it tonight, just put it on the shelf and think about it, and just know that one of these days you'll say, oh, I think I heard that before, and know that it came. And so I guess I will open it up for questions if anybody has any. If I can do that, I I don't know where I'm at as far as this is my first time on um, the new studio, so I don't know what I can do and what I can't do.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm in the studio, and Connie can't hear me when I'm down in the lobby, so I had to come up so that she could hear me. So, Connie, if you'd like to take questions, that's fine. So, everybody, if you have a question for Connie, you can put it in the comment section, and I will get it to Connie. We'll have it up on the screen, and she can answer it for you. To get the ball rolling,
Okay.
I have a question for you, Connie.
All right.
Because when you started the show, you did a call to action to the light workers, the light bearers.
Yes.
And because of, out there in the world, it's pretty chaotic, and there's a lot of these days there's a lot of hate rhetoric and things like that going on. And I'm wondering, as light workers, as energy workers, um, do you have any tips that we can use, that we can apply easily to our lives, that to that call to action? Because I know that there's several of us who would like to help, but maybe there's some people who just need a little bit of direction.
Well, I think the biggest thing, Nashi, is that when you decide that that's what you want to do, and you're doing it, um, it takes a lot, and that's why I mentioned about knowledge. It takes a lot of fortitude and a lot of well, gut wrenching things, because people, um, if you're doing the work and you're understanding what you're doing, that's part of the plan. It's there each time. And when you talk about whether or not, how does somebody put it into perspective, and how do I do it? You do it by your everyday living. You set the example. And then people say, I want to be like her, or I want to be like him. I love the energy that they generate. And that's what catches. That's what leaves an impact on people. It doesn't mean that, oh, well, just because I came on this show and I said all these things, that's going to fire them. It may never fire them. It's got to be within them.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be a desire. It's not something that just somebody comes by on a whim and says, oh, yeah, I'm going to be a light bearer. That isn't how it works. It takes a lot of years, it takes a lot of work, and it takes an effort for each soul to be able to say, yes, that's what I want to do. And all right, let's say not everybody has the ability to do psychically what I'm doing, or anybody else. Is that, and then they say, but they have other talents that they can do. Maybe they bake and they take it to somebody, or they create clothes, or anything that does something that would bring people to an awareness, more or less. And people do it all the time. You know, they some people call it bartering, but when you reach out to somebody and you know that they're struggling, and the fact that right now we have so many young people who are in a state that are difficult, and what do you say? How do we get that? How do we get them there? Well, all you can do is, as a light bearer, you can just set the stage, so to speak. Set it so that it's comfortable, so that they can see it, recognize it, and say, yes, I can do this. And then the next thing you know, because the children are our future, and they're going to demand. They don't want any more wars. They don't want to do that. They got to figure out a way. And there are groups, and I've heard about them. And nobody would ever think, really, that group is making contributions and giving money and taking care of people and doing all this kind of stuff. I never knew that. I can't say who they are because that, I don't have permission to do that. But there are groups of people who go out and do things for people who are in a difficult situation or are hard pressed or whatever. And, it's just, when I'm not know if I'm answering your question right, but the only thing I can think of is that when you're thinking about if you think in the process of what you're doing and how you're doing it, and if you're thinking of it in a godly manner, in a manner which will, and most folks who are in the realm that we're in and working with people are already there.
Yeah, I have to agree. I have to agree.
I mean,
I have to agree that they're already there, and it's a matter of just being who they are, being authentic, right? Being their truth.
Absolutely. You have to, your truth has to precede you, and your authentic truth. Absolutely. And if you can't fake it. You just can't.
It's like, as an example, there in Hawaii, there is a mountain that's Mauna Kea. Yep. And for the indigenous people from Hawaii, it is a very, very sacred mountain. It's given them their life, and it keeps them alive. That's how sacred it is. And recently, there was a post on Instagram. They're protectors, trying to protect the mountain from development. And the elders took the front line in the protection movement. And many of them couldn't even stand up. They had to be seated. And I saw that, Connie, and my heart went out, and I thought, oh, if I could only be there, right? And so what I did is I paused for the moment. I felt that, and I said a prayer, and I connected to the mountain and thanked it, being grateful for everything that it's provided to the two-leggeds there across the world, actually.
Well,
we're asked that the elders are taken care of. Right?
Yeah. That's good. That's really good.
So that's just an example. It's a prayer, but there's action behind it too. There's the thought, but there's action behind it. And so we can do that from our own homes. We don't necessarily have to go out there, unless you want to. Right. Unless you want to, right?
That's right. That's correct.
Yeah. We don't have any questions yet. I don't see any.
Okay.
And I know that when you channel, that sometimes you don't necessarily remember exactly what was said because you're your personality self steps to the side, so to
That's
speak,
correct.
right? And
Right.
and so in the channeling, basically, what I got from that is what you've been talking about, is that to be who you came here to be, and to do whatever you need to do,
Hmm.
get to that place.
That's right.
And I have to say that looking at the people in the chat, they're all very well aware. They are conscious beings, and they've been doing their work for many years. Some of them for
Yeah.
decades.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, working
Yeah.
on themselves. Yeah.
Yep. That's right.
Hmm. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I loved what Pat said here. I'm going to put this up, Pat. I hope you're still in the house. She says everything is served by love.
That is so true.
Yes.
Absolutely. That is such a positive. And everything that we have, if no matter what it is, uh, and even the difficult things,
Yeah.
even when things get difficult,
Hmm.
uh, we find that it's okay. You know,
Yeah. It is
it's,
okay. It is okay. And we don't
and it's
necessarily have
okay.
to make it
You know,
difficult, right? We don't have to make it difficult.
no, but you know what? It's okay when people have to cry.
Hmm.
Absolutely. It helps cleanse the soul. It gets rid of all that garbage in there, all
Yes.
that hurt, all that pain. It's
Yes.
in there.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just takes longer. I mean, you can think, well, how much, like, can I just stop crying? And it's okay
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's a cleansing process.
I love what you said about the ocean too. That when you go there and the waves come in,
Yep.
and you're standing in the water, and as it goes out, you feel like it pulls out or takes away something that doesn't support you, right?
That's right. That's
And
right.
that's a really beautiful thought and image that you gave us. Stephanie's got something here.
What's she saying? I'm wondering what visualization you personally use for cutting cords. What do I personally use for cutting cords?
Yeah.
I use golden scissors.
Let you do this.
I use the golden scissors. What I do when I have to put things in perspective, I will take the situation and I put it in a container. Usually it's a glass container, and I punch holes in the lid, and I put my problem in that jar, and screw it down, and I take the cord and I cut that cord. See, when I cut the cord, then I put it in there, and then I take it and I throw it as far around the world as I can. That's what I do.
Oh, that's a great.
When things, I mean, not everybody has to do that, but I just think it's cool. I was taught that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when you do your meditation, you can do that right in your meditation. You can pull that cord. If, let's say, I'll use myself as an example. Okay. That's the cleanest and easiest way to do that. When I went through my divorce, it took me quite a few years. Well, not quite few years anyway, um, to get myself together. And I met a doctor, and uh, and I interviewed him on my show back in 16. And we had quite a conversation, and I was at a retreat at his place. And I just, I said, I really need to cut those cords, and I got to do something. And so we did. We went into a meditation, and we cut the cords. And I sent them with love and light. And and to the lady who broke my home, and to myself. I mean, all of us, all three of us, I took and cut the cords and sent love and light to the whole situation, because I did not want to have a bitter heart. Because years ago, when I got married, I said to my husband to be, I said, let me tell you something. I said, I'll always love you, but you are not number one. Number one in my life is Jesus, and he will always be number one. He is the love of my life. Now, if you can live with that, then we can move forward. And he said, yeah, we can handle that. I said, okay, as long as you know that you will not be number one. Well, then when it came time for me to cut the cords, that was pretty tough. And my heart was broken. But God didn't give me a sad heart. He filled me full. And just, Stephanie, I'm going to share this with you, is that one Sunday at a Catholic Mass, because that's where we went to church, I the consecration was, the priest was doing the consecration of the host. And all of a sudden, these two huge hands come right to my face. And I thought, oh, and I didn't know what to think. I almost cried out. And but of course, everybody looking at you thinking you're nuts in church, crying out, Well, and the words were, take my hands. I'm going to carry you through. And I really thought I was going to pass away. But that's not what it was. Because that day, that very day, I went home and found evidence that of our marriage not being, the contract was broken. So it happened, and that was the end of 2012. And then I had to put that together, like 2012. What is that? And that was when the shift came. So all these things happen for a reason. I moved to Florida. Why did that happen? What is she saying? Beautiful, the very complicated between jar. So, I can't see that. It is very comparable to creating and something dark. What is that?
It says very comparable to creating an ammonia jar in Hoodoo in Santaria. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think she's just saying that there's similar ways of doing chords across different cultures.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I've never heard that before. So
yeah, that's okay. Connie, we're almost at the top of the hour, and so would you like to share some last words with your audience before you say goodnight?
Sure. I'll be back in 2 weeks, the first Thursday of the month. We, of course, weren't on last month, so we're just going to have another real quickie. But I'll be back on the first Thursdays, and God willing anyway. And, I just want everyone to know how I appreciate everything that you do for the Star Nations and for the spiritual mysteries of life. And if there's anything that I can do, maybe next time we can open it up and we can do some readings. I like to make things a little different each time, not be so repetitious of, okay, she channeled, well, big deal. But if we open it up and we can do some readings or something, that whatever anybody needs, because that's what I'm here for, is to help you with your needs. And if I can do that, that'll be the best. So please let me know, or let us know if there's anything that I can do, because that's what my purpose is. And We have some wonderful things, and we have the magazine is coming out, or it's out now, and it just wonderful things are happening. And there's tune in and check out all the different. There's stuff going on, Star Nations, every week. It's just a busy, busy place, and wonderful things are happening. And I'm just happy to be here. So, and I'm new to this, so I don't know if I'm running out of time. I don't have a clock, so I can't see.
Yeah, you're at the very top of the hour, actually. And so, if you'd like to say good evening to your audience, we can end the broadcast then. Okay.
Okay, just say good evening. Okay. Alrighty. And thank every one of you for coming and listening and being with me. I feel so special when I know that you're there, and I want you to feel special because you are special. And God bless you, and know that your source is looking out after you and for you. And God bless you.